how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we win, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we win. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man.
There we go. That was an alternative song intro to the stream. Hello everybody. Welcome to an impromptu stream with myself, Jason, and Stevo. It's nice to have Stevo back on camera. How's it going, guys? Terrible song, says Clickers. Honestly, we could play any song and someone would find it offensive in some way, shape, or form. Just mixing it up as an impromptu intro. But yeah, Steve did some members videos and I was watching them this morning and I was kind of like, you know what, I really want to just get a stream fired up. Because
that impact.
I just thought, I just want to, because Stevo's got the opportunity to jump on and, I think that it's a good time for Stevo to wildcard, personally. And for those of you who don't know, there's a couple of fires in his team that I think he needs to look at sorting out. Yeah, a couple of fires in his team that I think that he probably should look at sorting out. And why not attack the fixtures? And there's going to be a bit of a swing for fixtures coming up. We've obviously, we have got the international break, and that's going to probably play into Stevo's thinking. Do you want to be tinkering with your team during the international break on your wildcard?
Not particularly. I still think that I can maybe get through the next couple. Potentially.
The lost guy in the chat saying, no, Stevo, hold out till game week 8.
Yeah, I think I can hold out for a couple more game weeks and then hit that button, to be honest with you. I can do the -4 this week, as I stated. Get rid of Kulusevski and Harrison. That gives me...
And who are you bringing in? Remind us.
Well, I've definitely taken out Robertson for Trippier. That's
right.
done.
Yeah.
I think the major five would be Kulusevski ahead of Man City. I mean, I couldn't care less about Kulusevski. He's an absolute hopeless waste of space. Harrison, at least, Leeds have at least got Nottingham Forest.
So the -4 would be Trippier in for Robertson and who in for
No, I've got 2 free transfers.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, so, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, so Trippier has already been done, so I've got 1 more free transfer.
Yeah.
And I could bring in, God knows who for Kulusevski. Maybe take a punt on one of the decent fixtures that are up.
How much is Kulusevski again?
I've got him for 8.1.
So you could sell him for 8.1.
Yeah. So, and plus I've got the money in the bank from.
Not tempted on Anthony.
No, not aware. Crystal Palace game's gonna be tough.
Okay.
I think actually, ironically, that is going to be the big test for Ten Hag. Crystal Palace are aware there's no easy fixture. I can see that being quite a close contest.
Animations saying Sterling. Can you get up to Sterling if you were to do another transfer? Maybe downgrade Cancelo?
8, 9... No, because he's 10 million.
Yeah, I know he's not. I know he's 10 million, but you could save that 2 million surely.
I wouldn't want to get rid of Cancelo just yet.
Just yet.
Just yet. Not when he's a guaranteed starter. It's not really a fire for me at the moment. I think getting rid of a defender for the sake of bringing in Sterling for Kulusevski.
Nick Reed saying Anthony's in my side already. What's your thoughts on that? Bit early.
He's already done it. Has he?
Bit early, isn't it? I mean, the truth of the matter is it's way too early. PK7 saying Son will explode soon, Stevo. What's your thoughts on that one?
Well, they've got a very... Oh, sorry, it's flaming thing, isn't it? It's Man City this week. Who was it that I said that they could do really well against? Remind me. Spurs' next fixture is against
City.
Leicester the following week, game week 8.
Against Leicester, against Leicester they can definitely
Leicester,
do well there.
That's his best opportunity to explode. I think that's when Son could be on everybody's radar and people will be questioning whether to bring him in on the wild card or not when he gets 2 goals against Leicester. So I think that's the ideal fixture. Has Rodgers or Gerrard been fired yet?
Not yet. I do want to say that Flying Dutchman in the chat saying I'd imagine Jason feeling more confident about Crystal Palace more than he did against Liverpool or Arsenal. So you're talking about Man United. I don't want to there's so many times where I've thought that United have turned the corner and I've just been like pie in my face. I don't want to think just now that things are gonna get better. Like are rosy at Man United. They are not rosy at Man United. There's still some issues, especially with the senior the directors and above. I think that Ten Hag is definitely showing that he's got tactical prowess. For me, Rashford is a non-risky pick at that price point. I think that Anthony could definitely be one that can pay off, but we'd have to see more of him before risking it. 7.5. Steve, apparently I need to turn you up. So one moment, I'll just do that. Yeah, it's always you need to turn your microphone up. Yeah, let me just see if I can do it my end. Give me one moment. Let me see if I can.
People are saying Ryan is top of the Man City. Ryan is top of the Rivals League. And I'm not being funny, but Rivals League is supposed to be for huge support of the shows. I'm assuming this individual's active in Discord because if anybody can tell me who MCFC Ryan is, I don't have a clue. Jason, do you know?
Ryan. The only Ryan I know of is Ryan Seachern.
Yeah, and he's banned.
Let me have a look. Ryan. MUFC Ryan. Does anyone let us know who this is?
MCFC Ryan.
Take your undavs off.
Yeah.
Ryan
is Discord active? Yes, he's active in Discord. What's he go by? What's his name?
What's his name in Discord?
Yeah.
Ryan. Name's Ryan.
Yeah.
I bet that's the thing is. Ryan is active. Okay, yeah, okay. So Ryan is active. Okay, what's his name in Discord? He's in the Discord. Ryan is active.
Maybe that is his name. Ryan is active. Maybe.
Yeah, Ryan is active. Roderick. Sorry, Monty Python. He's always in live match chat. Okay, you're not answering the question. MCFC Ryan 18 is his name we got Ryan in the chat. Isn't there the Ryan? We got Ryan there. How you doing, Ryan? Top of the Rivals League.
If he's that active, he can come live on air.
You talk to us. Feel free. I got a whopping 26 points this game week, says Tom. Stevo.
Only a few more points than me.
Yeah. So, like, what is your plans then? So you just want to go over it again?
Well, I need to wait for the Champions League game.
Am I not in the mod? What? Am I not in the mod league? Oh yeah, I am. Never mind.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. You're 5th, 6th. Right?
I know. I'm 5th. I'm 5th actually. Yeah. Yes. I'm closing in on Blonde.
Well, your picks seem to be turning to goal
think
at the moment.
Blonde is 3 points ahead of me, and I think I've got her next week. So.
Well, it's all so tight, isn't it? As I said in the members league this morning, it's so tight in all the leagues. I mean, even in the moderator league, One Life Soccer in 7th up to 1st, there's like barely any points in it. There's like 20 points in it. So, and then from Harbour Boy down to the bottom, which is Brew again. Okay, there's a bit of a gap there, but
Blonde's listening in, and she disagrees with that statement.
What's her team? Let's have a look at her team. Let's just find out what her team is. Raya. What are the differentials on you? So Raya, Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Harrison. And
she's
Salah.
got the reason this team doesn't scare me is the fact that she's got Salah, and she's too scared to captain him.
Yeah, I say it's a bit of a strange one. I understand why people I have Salah more to the point. So, yeah, it's an understandable reason as to why. So, I mean, I love the Elliott pick.
Oh, she's got 2 free transfers, she says. Ooh. So did I, until I used one.
Yeah, you used one yesterday, didn't you? Trippier in for who again?
Cucurella to Trippier.
Cucurella, that's right.
Rotation risk for a non-rotation risk. Ultimately...
Sky Sports were showing the game between Crystal Palace and Newcastle, and Trippier is just on everything. Yeah, he is on everything. He looks absolutely fantastic. Bruce,
between our teams, myself and Blonde, I've got different players. Obviously, I've got Jesus. She's got Jesus. Never mind, it's on the bench. So realistically, the differences are I've got KDB and Luis Diaz. She's got Salah and Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, and Reece James.
I've got Cancelo. That's pretty much it. So there's not much of a difference. Oh, yeah, I've got Rashford instead of Harrison. So about 4 players really that are different. That I think that. I mean, I'd rather have Rashford over Harrison. I'd rather have Cancelo over Reece James for the fixtures going forward. Yeah, for the fixtures going forward.
But hold a minute, you're thinking of getting rid of him though, aren't you? To bring in Darwin.
No. Well, no, I'm not. Only to Walker, but to keep on City, I mean.
Tottenham at home, tough fixture. Wolves away, could be anything. Man United at home, that's the interesting one.
So
that's going to be fascinating.
Rashford over Harrison, Cancelo, James, okay, 50. You know, you could be 50. You know, kind of evens themselves out if you want. The De Bruyne pick over Salah for me, I'm happy with. I'd prefer De Bruyne over Salah. And what was the other one? Luis Diaz over Bernardo Silva. I mean, slim differences. Are you gone, Stevo? Have you gone? He's gone, chat. He's gone. He's left. But while we wait for him to come back, hello, Brew. How's it going? Shocking game week 6 for me. 30 points, big red arrow. That's not good. 30 points isn't good. Just it's a below average score, that, Wayne. I'm sure your team's not that bad. Any mid-range striker they are getting points this season. Yeah, so who are you replying to? Isaac or Mitrovic as a third striker, says Toenail. Mitrovic. Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Everything goes through him. He's just on fire at the moment, and he seems to be able to score against absolutely anybody. So get on him, basically. Just get on him.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Tony in. Personally, I'm happy to keep with Tony. Then just to go into Mitrovic from Tony. I think the fixtures are still there for Brentford. They're for him to get goals in. It's a bit of a sideways move to Mitrovic from Tony, but if you're looking to have an upgrade from a 4.5 striker to a third striker, Mitrovic is definitely a good option. Best two options: Gross, McAllister, or Rashford.
Rashford and Gross.
Gross is probably just maybe pipping Rashford at the moment purely because of the form Brighton are in. And I think that he's a popular pick out of the bunch. If you want to go with a differential, Rashford is more of a differential than Gross. So depends if you want to play it safe or not. Safety option is Gross. The differential pick is Rashford. Thoughts on getting Paqueta? West Ham started the season badly, but have sorted it out. And Lucas is set to start, and West Ham have got some good fixtures. Paqueta for West Ham. Not even on my radar.
I don't know who he is. Says it all to be on. Paqueta, who is it? Oh, he's a midfielder.
Yeah.
A midfielder.
Don't know much about him.
Don't know anything about him. Yeah, it's like Newcastle, Everton, Wolves, Fulham, Southampton.
I wouldn't transfer out Walker. He's injured according to City Extra. So we don't know what the extent of the injury is. And a lot of people have got the likes of Nico Williams. Hang on. They've got options on the bench, like playing options, so they don't have to transfer him out if they don't want to. I mean, isn't Rashford injured? Again, we don't really know. I mean, it could just be a tweak. I'm not concerned about Rashford. Not at all. It didn't look serious.
Hercules is saying he came from Lyon. This is Paqueta, but doesn't seem like a great FPL asset. Brilliant.
Well, thanks for bringing him up.
Podler saying if he isn't owned by at least 30% of the game, why would you bring him in? Who's that? Who are you referring to there, Podner? By the way, if anybody wants to come live on air with me and Jace, if you've got any dilemmas, anything like that, jump in the Discord. It's quite simple. Just jump in the Discord, the waiting room. There's a menu there on the left-hand side of Discord. Jump in the waiting room. Put your team and team screenshots. And me and Jason can happily have a conversation with you. Talk to you. Speak to you about your dilemmas, problems, any thought processes moving into Game Week 7. Because Game Week 7 does look like a very interesting set of fixtures, especially for the likes of Leicester, Aston Villa, Liverpool at home to Wolves, Chelsea away at Fulham, City, Spurs. That's massive.
You might need to turn my sound down on Discord because you've probably got me coming out twice. Just so
it's fine. I'm muted.
Okay.
It's cool.
Cool. So what is Stevo hitting the button or not? Says Nuclear Atoms.
No.
Or not. It's just a clickbait title. What are you on about? So how are we going to get people to come in? We'll just say Stevo's going to wildcard.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get Darwin in.
In all seriousness, this Darwin, you must be tempted. Because I think he's a great shine.
I mean, I am tempted, but like let's just talk the move through, right? So Tony up next. He's got Southampton away. Now, when I think about moves that can backfire, can I see Tony doing something against Southampton? Can I see him doing something against Arsenal? Can I see him doing something against Bournemouth? Those 3 fixtures, or the 4 fixtures with Newcastle even away, I think he returns in 2 of those games. The Nunez, yeah, obviously Nunez is fixtures. It's Wolves at home, Chelsea away, Brighton at home, Arsenal away. How likely is Nunez or Darwin starting all 4 of those games?
I think
In your opinion,
very likely.
even with Champions League.
Even with Champions League, yeah.
I'm stressed.
I think the fact that Darwin came straight into the team against Everton ahead of Firmino tells me everything Klopp thinks about Nunez. Says it all.
Isn't it? It's a bit of a premature decision though, getting him in now.
I think Wolves is a great fixture for him. I think Wolves is prime for it. I think that he's one of these players that's gonna.
Why? Why do you think he's? Why? Give me reasons. What have you seen from him?
I just think that he's got that attacking prowess about him where he wants to just score goals. And I think even though Wolves defensively are solid enough, I just think that Liverpool are going to take advantage of it. I think they're just going to be trying to put as many balls into the box as possible. And they're just going to dominate. And I think Liverpool have got every chance of winning this game 2 or 3-0 if they really put their mind to it. And Nunez is just going to be the forefront of it all.
Why did he do nothing against Everton?
Because Pickford had a phenomenal game. He played really well, Pickford, and so did the post.
I'm trying to remember what chances did Nunez had. He had a shot, didn't he, from about 8 yards out. That was saved.
Yeah, didn't he have that overhead kick or something, like a volley, half volley or something? He also had that header that he had as well.
Yeah, but I felt like the thing with I saw highlights of that. He was getting under the ball when he went for headering. He was heading it like he was not like judging the flight of the ball like as well as I thought he would. Like he was almost jumping too, I would say, too early and getting underneath the ball. If that makes sense. Yeah, two headers off target. One of them should have been on target though. Yeah, that was it. One of them was at the back post, and it was almost like he misread the flight of the ball and jumped and just headed under the ball. I mean, I want to see a tall centre, like a proper centre forward, getting over the ball, heading it sort of down towards the ground in those situations. It's kind of weird. He jumped too early, yeah.
Quickly address this. So Nick Treadwell's just said there, so you're thinking there's going to be lots of balls put into the box, so you're getting rid of what's his face? Robertson.
Getting rid of Robertson?
Yeah, because essentially Robertson is literally a rotation risk. I can't see him starting against, Wolves. I think it would be Simicast. Their turnaround is so quick, Liverpool. Like with all these Champions League teams, their turnaround is so quick. It's like literally every 3 days, and Klopp will be playing. Klopp has got essentially his two literally 2 teams now. He'll be playing his full strength against Napoli. Against Liverpool, he'll be probably playing the same equivalent team that played against Everton, dropping a couple of players here or there. Then they've got Ajax literally 3 days later, and then they're going to be playing a full strength team against Ajax, full strength team against Chelsea.
Jota's back. It's a good point. Sorry that Jota's coming back. Dave Liston brings a point.
Brighton versus Wolves.
So the question is Diaz.
I think, like I said, I think Jota starts versus Wolves. I really do think that.
Would you be confident with Diaz in your team?
Yeah, I think he's done nothing wrong to get gone, but it's just a shame that he hasn't returned what you'd expect from the amount of efforts that he's had. Albeit that one effort that he had against Everton that came off from the inside of the post, that was so unlucky. That was so unlucky. And very unfortunate for people like yourself that have got Diaz not to have got a goal in that game.
Yeah. I mean, the Darwin in for Tony just seems like it could bite me it could bite me.
I don't know. I mean, Tony, he this season, if we look
penalty taker, he's on free kicks. He's gonna start every game for Brentford. Fixtures are good.
So, goal blank, goal blank blank, and then he gets a hat trick. Bit of a pattern forming there. So, probably going to blank next game. Then he's got Arsenal, didn't you say? So Southampton away, which is no easy fixture. Arsenal at home. Well, we all know what Arsenal are about. Bournemouth away. That's
a good fixture. Yeah. And then you got Newcastle, which isn't an easy fixture.
Horrific. Brighton at home, horrific. Chelsea at home, horrific. And then Aston Villa, Wolves, Nottingham Forest.
And you look at the fixtures for Liverpool. So the fixtures Liverpool, you got Wolves at home, okay, which they potentially could score quite 3 or 4 goals in. And you got Chelsea away, which I think will be a toughie. I think that'll be like a. No. I think it'll be a 2-1.
Chelsea are useless at the back. I think if Liverpool play at their full potential, if they do, I could see them getting a hatful.
And then you've got Brighton, which is
horrible.
Yeah. And then you've got Arsenal away, which is so the fixtures tighten up. So the fixtures for Liverpool start getting a little bit tough from game week. So from game week 9 onward. Well, if you class Chelsea as a tough game, I do think that could be a close game. I don't know, the fixtures for me for Liverpool, for getting Diaz in, I would need to know that he's going to start every game.
Like I say, their fixtures are so this is literally every 3 days, give or take. Napoli, Wolves, Ajax, Chelsea. In fact, the longest break they've got is actually between the Ajax and Chelsea game. And then they've got a 2-week break between the Chelsea game and the Brighton game. Well, yeah, it's the international break, isn't it? And then they're back at home to Brighton. Then Rangers, 2 home fixtures. And then they're away at Arsenal, then back at home against Rangers again. Then it's at home to Man City. Horrific. They're horrible. If anything, you could argue maybe jump off Liverpool assets after Wolves. Given the Wolves fixture, and then that's it, clear off. I mean, you consider like
what's your thoughts on this this arrangement of players? I mean, Walker's potentially injured, but that doesn't matter because I'd play Fofana or I'd play Nico Williams. So if I wanted to get rid of the rotation risk from Diaz, and if I wanted to keep Tony in, I could bring Salah in. I could downgrade Cancelo to Walker, and I could downgrade Trent to Dalot. So that would give me Salah coverage in my team. So the transfers would be Alexander-Arnold for Dalot, Cancelo for Walker, which is sideways, and Diaz to Salah, which, you know, on the face of it, I'm essentially having just a one Liverpool asset in my team that I don't think is going to get rotated.
Basically, yeah.
So I'm Dalot for Alexander-Arnold. I mean, that's a big downgrade. But United are playing better now. They're looking tougher at the back. The fixtures aren't too bad, and you know, he's able to get crosses in. So it's a consideration. Like, this is the thing. This is an old because you can only have 3 attackers, right? You can only have 3 up front. I like Tony as an option going forward. Why do I need to do that when I can just bring Salah in and remove the rotation risk of Diaz, go sideways to Walker from Cancelo, and then just basically bring Dalot in for Alexander-Arnold? So essentially what I'm doing is, as Alexander-Arnold to Dalot is the sacrifice for bringing in Salah for Diaz.
I would not be getting rid of Trent. Trent's one of the few players which are looking very good for Liverpool. Looking really good.
Well, Mohammed's saying I've wildcarded Trent and Salah out, and you know, people are saying I'm getting Walker out on my team, says JC on Twitch.
Getting Walker out.
We don't even know what's the matter with him. Like, could it just be a one weekend out? He's got a little knock. I don't think Pep's actually revealed what it is. What's wrong with him? I mean, is the Tottenham game the worst case scenario in the world to avoid? Just to sit him out for that Tottenham game and be back for Wolves away? Like, worst case scenario, he misses the Tottenham at home game. You play, you know, Nico, or you play Fana in my case, or you know, Andres Pereira. Is it really the end of the world? Are we missing Sterling? Not at the moment. People finally seeing that Trent Alexander-Arnold at 7.5 is not worth all of these 5.5 and below defenders. I've been saying for quite some time that Trent isn't as big as what people think he is. However, I do fear not owning him because he has been looking a beast down the right hand side, been putting those crosses in. It's only a matter of time before Nunez gets some goals from it. Rashford, no, I'm not getting Rashford out. No. Trent and Van Dijk out of form. Mohamed Salah has only scored 6 goals since returning from African Cup of Nations.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, the biggest concern for me is Diaz's rotation. Right now. Sterling.
Well, Sterling, considering their fixtures and the fact they're virtually at full strength, I'd be waiting on Aubameyang to get fit first.
I mean, you could bring Walker in for Cancelo and Sterling in for Diaz.
Walker in for Cancelo, Sterling in for Diaz. Fulham away, good fixture. Liverpool at home. Can see him scoring in that, ironically. Crystal Palace away, horrific. Wolves at home, fine. Aston Villa away, good. Brentford away, good. I'm just 10 million. 10 million. So Fulham away versus Wolves for thingy, and Diaz potential rotation risk versus Wolves at home.
How much is Malacia at still now?
It's 4.4, I think, still.
I like Malacia.
Always got a yellow card on him.
So he's Dalot. To be fair.
Yeah, but he's more attacking, isn't he? Malacia isn't that particularly that attacking. Kind of reminds me of Wan-Bissaka when he just was the furthest player, sitting the deepest, and allowed Luke Shaw to bomb on.
Yeah, Dalot's looking quite nice on the overlap. He gets involved quite a bit, does Dalot. 4.5, he is, I think, is worth the risk. I
don't think it was a risk, to be honest with you.
Sterling in for Diaz.
Like I say, Fulham's a brilliant fixture. I can see that being goals, lots of goals in that.
I mean, I'm missing out on Liverpool then. Attack. That's the only thing.
But what have they done to?
Yeah.
What have they done to suggest that they're worthy of being in your team? For me, they've done absolutely nothing.
But there's the law of averages, Stevo, right? That's going to change at some point.
Well, yeah.
This is Liverpool. This is Liverpool. They will come good at some point. It's just when. When will they come good? And do you want to be reacting to that, or do you want to get on that bit ahead of time? That is the question. I do think Liverpool are going to start scoring goals and free-flowing football, like you said, sooner rather than later. I don't think it's going to be the second half of the season. I think I want to be ready and have an attacking asset in my team to cover me. Trent Alexander-Arnold is not that one attacking asset to cover me. Paulie's saying that Malacia has only been booked once this season. It wasn't a booking in a million years.
He always looks like he's got a booking in him. Yeah, ironically, like you say, he's only had one booking this year. So,
Vincent's in the chat saying McDonald's for dinner, Stevo.
Not when I'm out injured. My diet will be extremely
He's on lettuce.
Clean.
He's on lettuce, guys.
Yeah. Literally before we went on air, I was just eating broccoli.
Broccoli, lettuce, and bananas.
Chicken.
Gotta have that potassium. Eggs, chicken, potatoes.
Should we bring on some callers, Jace?
Go on then.
I want to bring on at least a new caller. Goes by the name of Quids. So let's bring him on. And if you want to come live on air, everybody, the waiting room is available. So Quids is here. Quids just needs to unmute his mic.
Hello.
Away we go.
Hello.
I put my team in yesterday, which is going to be like quite new. Yeah, I got 26 points. I'm that guy. The stinker.
Quids, I don't see you. Oh, there I do. Yeah. Okay, so let me just switch it up on this. Let's bring it up on the Discord for a second.
Yeah, the two players that I transferred out got more points than my team combined.
Who did you transfer out?
Trossard and Haaland.
Oh,
Why would you get rid of Haaland?
I just thought with the Champions League I wasn't going to play and De Bruyne was going to play.
Wow.
I mean, my immediate reaction is, why the hell have you got Bamford?
He was fit and I thought he'd play over Gelhardt, but he only played 45.
I wouldn't be going near Bamford until he's completely fully fit. Match fit this is. He's only going to get the odd game here or there. I think that, dude, this team is just extraordinary. Sanchez in goal, Walker, Trent, Dyer, Cancelo, Zinchenko, Martinelli, Salah, De Bruyne, Jesus, Bamford, and you got rid of Haaland.
Yeah.
Who did you bring in for Haaland? Just a
De Bruyne. I think it was De Bruyne and Bamford. I brought them two in for Trossard and Haaland.
Wow, just extraordinary, especially against the fact they had Aston Villa.
That's why I thought that he was going to be a rotation risk. Yeah, because Salah was playing as Everton. He always performs in those kind of big games.
But he's
and
not been
Everton have
performing
not been
this
good.
season. He's been terrible.
Yeah, but Salah, he's still like top 3 highest points in midfield. He's got more points than De Bruyne.
All this point scoring that people keeps banging on about, he's doing nothing on the pitch.
Yeah, but if you watch him, he's not doing anything that kind of fills you full of confidence. That's what we're saying. He's like, you know, he got 2 lucky assists the previous game, in my opinion. and it was literally at the dying embers of the game as well. And he's still, he's still lackluster for me. He's still not involved where I want to see him on the pitch. He's wide right, looking to link up with the likes of Firmino and Trent. He's passing it back to Trent more than what I'm seeing him running into the box, which I want to see him do as a FPL option, right? I think Salah is skating on the end of many people's patience right now. I think he's
not as nailed on as a captain choice as much.
Yeah.
He's
I think Haaland is basically the new Salah. Essentially, I think you're going to see people perma-captaining Haaland, even with that risk of rotation.
Yeah, that's the only reason I took Haaland out, is because Champions League. I thought he wasn't going to play.
I'm surprised. I mean, the thing is, he will get benched at some point. Like, he will, but it's a case of when.
I mean, I'm genuinely would be thinking that this week, if you own De Bruyne, he could be. I know I keep banging on about him. He could be a great
captain option. Yeah.
I do. I think he thrives in games like this. The tough fixtures is when he thrives.
Would you not go Jesus for Everton though?
Jesus is a good one.
It's going to be tight. Everton are no walkover. They seem to have done something this year where they're. Their last
faded Raza Estupinan versus Bournemouth. You start him. Yep.
This is Everton's last 5 results. 1-1, 1-0, 1-1, 1-1, 0-0. It's a bit of a pattern forming. And against Arsenal, I can see Arsenal winning. But 2-0, 1-0, something like that. Yeah, Jesus could pop up with the winning goal. But it's a horrible fixture. It's not a horrible fixture, but
it'll be a 1-0, 2-0. Yeah.
If I'm predicting that game, I'd probably say 2 or 3-0. But this recent turn in defence for Everton, is it the fact that Connor Cody coming in had strengthened their defence? Is it the fact that former England #1 / former England international / bordering on getting into that team, has he brought something to that team where they're a lot tougher? This season, they've only in fact, I'll ask you, when was the last time that Everton conceded 2 goals this season? Can you remember?
I don't watch them.
They lost 2-1 to Aston Villa. That's it. Every other game since, they've conceded just the 1 goal. They even only lost 1-0 to Chelsea, and that was a terrible game. That should have ended 0-0. They are not conceding many goals. They're doing something which is clearly working.
Yeah, they're struggling up there with DCL being injured.
Oh yeah, up front they're hopeless. They're crap. But defensively, clearly something is going on where they've tightened up. And like I say, away at Arsenal, you'd expect Arsenal to win relatively comfortable. But based on literally this season's results, it ain't going to be no walkover. So, but have you got a wild card? Just some interest.
Yeah, I do have a wild card, but I'm not going to use it.
You're not going to use it?
No. I'm going to go Cancelo to Trippier and then Bailey to Maddison.
Maddison?
Look at his fixtures.
For a team that are just not into Rodgers at all.
Yes, they concede, but they've been scoring goals. It's just a bit. It's been a bit like who's going to play, who's going to score. That's all it's going to be for them.
So Leicester's fixtures this year, goals wise in the Premier League: 2-2, 4-2, 2-1, 0-0, 2-1, 1-0, 5-2. It looks like away from home they're conceding lots of goals, whereas at home, in fact at home, barring the Brentford game, they've been quite tight within reason. 2-2 against Brentford. they lost 2-1 to Southampton and they lost 1-0 to Man United. They got Aston Villa next. Yeah, like you say, Maddison could easily be their provider this year. Looking at their team here,
he's been playing a bit weird. Like he's been playing like as a centre mid or like a right winger, which hopefully he's going to play a bit more attacking now.
So he's been playing in a different position, and yet you're willing to bring him in based on what exactly?
He's just their main man.
I think
they're going to score goals, and I think
Vardy, Barnes
has been awful this year. Daka came in this week; he was good. Iheanacho,
well, Daka should
be
starting full stop. I think Daka should be starting full stop, in my opinion. They brought him in for a reason. He's a young, upcoming striker. Maddison this year, 2 goals, 1 assist. The assist coming against Brentford at home. Got a goal against Arsenal, goal against Southampton. Since then, he didn't play
one of the
against
goals
Chelsea.
was a free kick as well, so that's one got out of open play.
Got nothing in that 2 goals against Brighton, and obviously against Man United they didn't get anything. And Chelsea away, and their fixtures, as you quite rightly state, Aston Villa at home, horrible fixture. Tottenham away, horrific. But then Forest, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Wolves. Yeah, I think a player to certainly be looking at. Jace, what do you think on Maddison?
How much is he?
7.9.
7.9, yeah.
I'd rather have Anthony, but then I'm a United fan. I just think that they're not filling me with any hope or any confidence right now, and I would want to see what's going to happen with Rodgers, really.
Yeah.
Before I make any. Yeah, I'm not confident in Leicester at all. So, for me, it's a bit more of a risk than bringing in, it's more of a risk for me than bringing in Anthony, who's, slightly less, but is in a much more attacking team, and he's going to be playing. He's going to be starting. He's going to be playing.
Yeah, but United can't break down the weaker sides that sit back.
Well, we don't know that yet. We've got new players that have come in. With a new manager ethos coming, I think that we against Palace it'll be a good test. Certainly against Southampton, it was also a good test. Southampton actually came at us more than what I thought they would. And I think Palace will actually try and hit us on the counter attack too. And whilst hitting us on the counter attack, our transition will be an avenue for us to get goals. Like we saw against against Arsenal, that if you give any space for the likes of Rashford, like Sancho, even Eriksen coming in from midfield, like we can punish on the transition. So will Palace sit back for 90 minutes? I don't think so. I don't think they will. And I think if they did, I think we've got the players now in the squad that can find the pockets of space, especially on the overlap. Especially in between the defensive line and the defensive midfielders. I think we've got much more attacking threat in that team. We're not looking to go sideways and backwards as much as we used to. I just would feel more confident with Rashford or Anthony over Maddison personally. But I mean, saying that, there is alternatives. We've talked about. I would actually, honestly, hand on heart, I'll be more happier with Zaha than I would with Maddison.
I just think that Maddison's a bit of a sleep pick. He's I know everyone bangs on about effective ownership, but I think I've got to try and do something now that is a bit.
I would go Zaha. I honestly would. I like the idea of differentials. Don't get me wrong. I think people are sleeping on Zaha. I think that
Their fixtures aren't it.
I think he's fixture proof.
They've got United, Brighton, Chelsea next 3.
If you look at the fixtures for Louis Zaha, I mean, he's got opportunities in all of those games to be the outlet for them to get a goal. Whereas Maddison, you're pretty much banking on a free kick. I'm not confident with Maddison. I'm not confident with Leicester as a team. I don't think they're playing very well at all together. He is definitely a differential, but he's more of a risk than other alternatives out there. And the price, he's not a cheap differential either. You know, you're almost at that 8 million price range. You know, is he really worth it over someone like Diaz, who's not too far off?
Yeah, but is he going to play, or is he a rotation risk?
I think he's a. This is the dilemma that I've got. Yeah, is he a rotation risk?
Is Jota going to come straight back in, or
is
Jota going to play over Nunez?
We don't know, and we can assume, but I think Maddison. I don't know, man.
We'll see if it works out or not.
Yeah, I just think that there's better alternatives than Maddison. I mean, if I just quickly go into transfers and go to midfielders, what was he, 7.9? So,
yeah.
Alternatives to Maddison, let me just read some out. Well, Pascal Gross comes straight to mind. Zaha, like I said, at 7.2. You've got obviously United options. With Anthony, with Rashford, but you've also got like Saka at 7.8. I don't know if you've got Martinelli in already or not. You've got I mean, Harrison for Leeds. I would say that I would be more comfortable with having him.
I've got Bamford, so I don't really want to double up on Leeds.
Yeah, really. I mean, those are your options, really. I mean, Gross, Zaha, Rashford, or Anthony, depending on your thought process. Bernardo Silva is obviously a rotation risk, you know, but he's getting minutes right now, right? He's playing for that City, you know, getting the minutes, getting the odd goal, getting the odd assist. I mean, he's got 2 goals, 2 assists, right? Pretty much playing in every game. Yeah, he's 7 million.
So do you think I should wildcard or wait?
I think that you need to I think you need to look at your team and see like where you're maximizing the value. Like you've the biggest red flag for me is you've not got Haaland in your team. And he's looking like he's going to punish everybody week in and week out. Like he's finding it too easy. If you watch Man City and you watch Haaland, it's almost men v boys. You got to look at your team and think, if I don't have Haaland, have I got players that can keep up? And you've got De Bruyne there, I know that. But I wouldn't be holding out with Bamford. I wouldn't be holding out with I mean, Dyer is not going to get you anything from that in that defensive slot when you're playing that.
Yeah, I brought him in for Robertson.
Yeah. See, is it enough to wildcard?
Because I wanted a Spurs defender.
No, you don't.
And the fullbacks aren't like nailed on.
I don't think it's necessarily enough to wildcard because you could make some changes, do a -4. Maybe have you got 2 free transfers or 1 free transfer now?
I've already got 1.
So yeah, you could just do like if you wanted to, you know, what formation? Do you even know what formation you want to play? That's the
4-4-2.
A 4-4-2.
Yeah. Then I'm going to bring in Trippier for Cancelo.
So for me, Mitrovic, for me, would be someone I would prefer over Bamford. And I've got Tony in. He's on He's on. You know, he has taken free. He's not normally a free kick taker, but he has taken set pieces. He is on penalties. He's going to play game in game out. He's got no Champions League to worry about. Tony is definitely someone that I'm surprised you didn't look at over Bamford.
Yeah, I just don't really have like faith in Brentford to score loads of goals. Yes, they scored loads of goals this weekend.
But you've got faith in Leeds to score loads of goals.
I just think that if they're going to score goals, it's going to come through Bamford.
Is it though?
Or with Rodrigo out, I think it does.
I mean, they've got Sinistera, they've got Harrison. What's that? Is it Aronson? I mean, they've got options there, in you know, that they could spread the goals out. I mean, I don't know. And like Stevo says, Bamford match fit yet. He's maybe fit from, you know, returning from injury in terms of fit enough to actually start, but is he actually match fit? That's the question. If this was my team right now and I had a wild card available, is there enough changes in this team? I'll change 1, 2, 3. So this is what I'll change in this team. I'll take out Bailey. I'll take out probably take out Stansfield as well. I'll take out Bamford. I'll take out Salah. I'll take out Dyer. I'll take out Zinchenko. That's 6. Depending on the news of Walker, I'll take out Walker. 7. Did I say Bailey? I did, didn't I? So that's 7 players. 7 players. So yeah, I mean, on that logic, you know, it's enough to wildcard. But it's who you bring in, and you know, I'd be looking at Man United defenders. I'd be looking at Dalot. I'd be looking at Trippier. I'd be looking at sort of midfield options that I think are decent for the price, like Pascal Gross. Like you've got Martinelli already, and you've got Jesus. You've got Arsenal coverage. You don't have to worry about them. But maybe, you know, bringing in the likes of Tony to go as a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3 formation could be something you could look at. Again, these are all sort of what you could do with that money from Salah. You could build out a full team that you're confident, like that you could. When you wildcard, you want to be confident for like for many game weeks afterwards. And like for me, I'm not confident with Maddison. I'm not confident with Leeds. I'm not confident with I'm not even confident with Tottenham, to be honest with you. Like teams I'm confident with is right now is Arsenal, is Man City. I'm confident with owning 1 or 2 Liverpool assets. I'm confident with owning Chelsea options, at least one Chelsea option, and I'm confident with of Man United because I think that they're on a kind of turn now. Whereas, you know, for me, like other teams, it's kind of a risk. But yeah, man, it's definitely a dilemma. Like, if you believe in Bamford, then you can just stick with that team. Like, if you think you've made a mistake, then the wild card may be a friend. I mean, I don't know what your team value is just by looking at this. But you can definitely improve this team.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think that's about me done. Because I think I've heard what I need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is something like we talk about, you know, thinking your option, like it's all about your options, you know, and no one is essentially going to give you the magical answer to kind of give you the points you need to win your mini league or whatever. But what we can do as a community and as a stream is give you our honest opinions and essentially work out, you know, sort of a consensus as to what offers you the most value, judging on price points in your team. And like the question I have to ask you pretty much is yes or no. Are you do you trust Mohamed Salah to get you the points that warrants captaining him and keep you and having that 13 million pounds tied up in your team? Do you trust him to essentially return you the points that you would expect for that price point? And are you going to captain him? You know.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep Salah. I don't think I'm going to captain him. I think he's still Salah. Like,
you're going to keep Salah, but you're not going to captain him.
Yeah. Just going to alternate between De Bruyne and Jesus. Because I do trust Salah. He's still Salah. Like, he's got something in him. And we're just waiting for like Liverpool assets to come back from injury. And he should be back. Yes, he's playing wider, but I think that's to try and isolate him in a fullback.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, wait for the Champions League to be over as well. Like Lag says in the chat. I mean, you've got, like, for me, if this was my team, honestly, I'd be hitting the wild card. Stevo?
Yep. Hit the wild card.
But whatever you decide to do, please come back on Sunday and let us know.
Monday, isn't it? Or are you guys not going to be on Monday?
I'm probably not going to be free Monday evening.
That's the Leeds game for Bamford.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Probably
I'll be back,
running away. Come back next Friday or something and talk to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I wish you all the best, man.
Alright.
Cheers, Quids.
Later.
Probably not the answer he was after.
No. Just Bamford. Getting rid of Haaland just fascinates me. People's decision making, getting rid of certain players before decent fixtures, especially someone like Haaland. And then bringing in Kevin De Bruyne and not captaining him. It's painful. That is a painful. Let's bring on Nugrah Adams. He's been waiting for a while. Let's bring him on. See what Nugrah Adams has to say. Hello, Nugrah Adams. Doing very well in the Rivals League, mate. What do you want to chat to us about?
I don't think so. I'm going
36th. I think it's very good. Or the YouTube chat league. You're 36th, I believe.
I was 30 and I went to 36. I just feel like I'm just gonna go down and down. Like, it's so competitive and I just can't find the points. That's the freaking problem right now. The template is strong, but I just so tired of the template. I'm just trying to find differentials that can help me and get me excited about.
Well, you're 40 point. Excuse me. You're 40 points off Alex Volo in third. That's just one cap. That could be potentially one captaincy decision that goes your way. And you know, I look at your team here. You must be disappointed with Henderson, not getting anything against Bournemouth other than one stinking point.
God, man, that like, you were doing the 2 p.m. kickoff stream and I was like raging when you said, "Oh, Forest have conceded." And it's like, there goes the double clean sheet again. Like, how many times can they screw this up? If they can't keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth, like, when will they? That's the problem. If I hit the wild card in game week 8, which I probably will, after game week 8, might just transfer out Henderson because I just don't trust Forest. I'll still keep Nico Williams since he's just 4 million.
Yeah, he is a perfectly fine option. Nico Williams, 4 million. You're not going to be playing him every single week. But Henderson, when you've got the likes of Nick Pope in a quote better team, I say they don't concede many goals. I was just looking at it a minute ago. They are conceding goals, Newcastle. They don't exactly keep many clean sheets. They've kept 2 this season. Newcastle both in the 0-0s. From what I just saw a second ago. But Nick Pope will always be getting
One second, Stevo. We've got a super chat coming through from Simar Singh, who says, surprised how FPL experts are so connected to past Salah that they don't realise that he has been playing terrible, similar to the loyal Cristiano Ronaldo
Don't get me
fanboys.
started.
So $5 Canadian. Thank you so much, Simar Singh. You make a good point. People are very much connected to the past with Mohamed Salah. Yes. And also, Max is saying the music is a little loud. Hope you're all well. Okay, I've turned the music down. So carry on. Thank you so much for those.
Someone misunderstood my argument I had the other day regarding Salah, and when I said, "Is the bot going to speak?"
No.
Oh, okay. So people seem to be thinking that, but hold on a minute, Stevo, you have Salah. But my argument wasn't about owning Salah. It was about the fact that all the quote so-called experts are captaining Salah and are worried that if they don't captain Salah, he may do this. And it's like exactly what you just said there, Simar. He is performing appallingly. I'm absolutely fuming with myself that I went down the Salah route. I wish I'd never had Salah from the beginning. I said all along I never wanted him. Still went with him because I'm weak, and it's the classic fear of missing out. I will openly say that I'm weak and brought him in, but I have got the cojones to say I'm not captaining them against, for instance, Everton as a simple example. I think there are better options out there when it comes to captaining ahead of Salah, especially the way he's performing. And I mean, Nuclear Atoms, your opinion on Salah this season?
Yeah,
and the end of last.
And Nuclear Atoms is a bit quiet. I've got him up 200% on Discord, so I don't know if it's your mic, if you want to turn your mic up, or whether you want to actually speak closer to your microphone. I don't know, one or the other.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Salah. Yeah, I had so much hope in from game week 1. I did captain him like everyone else just because he scores every time in game week up. But it just after the Liverpool versus Manchester United game, even the signs were showing by that point that Salah doesn't look like he'll score anytime soon. But I just kept him because of the EO. Like I'm just like you, Steve. I'm just weak because of that ownership. Like I hate falling behind because of such silly things. Like if I just have Salah, I won't just fall down. That's the theory I was going with. I shouldn't just take this unnecessary risk. But I do see there's so much points there I could have made up without Salah. And I was really thinking about getting rid of him after game week 4 or 5. Like on the stream, I was just typing, maybe I should sell Salah for KDB for that, or the Nottingham Forest fixture. I'm glad I didn't because KDB didn't start, but I'm still gonna transfer him out with my wildcard in game week 8. No. Game week 8 is he faces Chelsea, right? So I'm just gonna transfer him out then. So this is the week he stays for the last time. Against Wolves, Thiago's back. I saw training pictures on Twitter. Thiago's back, so at least Salah might get some service. But what if he just stays wide? And if he can't even score when Firmino's there, then what chance does he have when Darwin Nunez is gonna play and he's just gonna hog the penalty box?
Well, even when Thiago was in the team, Salah was playing out wide, too far out wide.
But at least he scored back then. But now he can't even score. Just can't find anything.
He seems to just be allowing Trent Alexander-Arnold to be given the ball so he can dash forward to put in the cross or have an attempt on goal. That's what it seems like. He's trying to make space for Trent. He's not. Salah isn't getting into the centre like he used to. He's not trying to attack the goal where he used to. He's a team player. He's brilliant. It's not like, say, with Ronaldo, who I always use an example of like a non-team player, very selfish. Salah is actually, happy to help out anybody. But from a positional point of view, I just see him so often out on the right. It's like with Saka of Arsenal, so far out on the right that I'm just like, when is he ever going to drive into the centre like he used to do last year? Because everything is going through Martinelli and Jesus and Odegaard. I mean, I'm looking at your team here. You are sticking with Xhaka in along with Martinelli for the Everton game?
Yeah, Cancelo, I just feel like Tottenham will score. Like they are bound to score against City. They did it twice last season. I'm predicting that game to be 2-2 actually. So that's why I'm
Oh, a
benching
high
Cancelo.
scoring game.
Yeah, I just feel like the counter-attacking thing will really work. And City have looked shaky at defense. And with a striker like Harry Kane, who's in brilliant form, and Perisic on the wing, like he'll get so many chances and they'll break away. Son actually looked good the last match. He just couldn't finish. That's the problem. And Richarlison also looked good, but I don't know who will play. Kulusevski, who's better actually, Kulusevski or Richarlison on that right defensive?
I'd rather take Richarlison. He looks so threatening whenever he's come on the pitch. He looks so attacking. He's got speed. He's always looking for the assist. Whereas Kulusevski's another one. He just seems selfish. His shots always seem to be very tame as well. Don't seem to be challenging the keepers at all. I have no faith in Kulusevski. I think the best front three for Tottenham are Son, Kane and Richarlison, in my opinion. But you were talking about differentials. I love your Sinisterra pick. I think I think against Nottingham Forest he could be in for a treat.
I just said that because I brought him in right after the Saturday games.
You brought him in this week?
Yeah, like
oh, brilliant.
On Saturday. Right on Saturday, like after the City game, I just saw Rodrigo's gonna fall on price. I'm like, I brought you in, you didn't give me any return, but at least I'll make 0.1 profit out of you. So I just dumped Rodrigo and brought in Sinisterra. I heard Sinisterra is supposed to be their Rafinha replacement, and he really looked good. He can score some bangers from outside the box also, Did you like see the highlights of that Brentford versus Leeds game? Like
no, I didn't.
Sinisterra's goal was really good. He just controlled the ball that was coming onto him from the overlap, controlled with his head, ran it down to the touchline, ran it down to the penalty box, and just shot with powerful shot, and just it was in top bins. He was really quick also to transition from that place. It was really good. So I'm confident about him, and I really wanted a Leeds player because, as I mentioned earlier, like Forest are conceding goals. Like Henderson can't keep clean sheets. Like why not just get Leeds player? They are playing at home, and they just erupt at Allen Road. So just get him.
It's funny you say that because I was just looking at the basic stats, and Leeds at home are so far this season have been really good. They've been scoring goals as well at home. They've got 2 wins and a draw. Their games have been a 2-1 against Wolves. So they scored 2 goals against Wolves, 3 goals against Leeds, and then 1 goal against the defensive block of Everton. And then they're up against Nottingham Forest, who, guess what? Nugrah away from home are absolutely terrible. Drawn 1, lost 2. Admittedly, 6 of the 9 goals they've conceded was against Man City, but the other 2 games they lost against Newcastle 2-0, and they drew, surprise, surprise, with Everton 1-1. And I think that there is every chance that Leeds could have another goal fest on their hands, and you'd like to think that this Sinisterra could be part of the attacking trio that getting them in amongst the goals.
After like yesterday's Man United game, I was thinking, did I pick the right player? Maybe I should have waited for Rashford, but then I thought, nah, Forest is a much more like easier fixture to predict for Leeds rather than like maybe Palace would frustrate like Rashford, and they are playing away and Leeds are at home, so maybe I did pick the right one. And like Forest are so bad, like. And Leeds have scored against 3 goals against Chelsea. If they can score like 3 goals against Chelsea, then I think it'll be a bloodbath against Forest. Everything just goes advantage to Leeds. Like they're good at home, Forest are really bad at away, Sinister is in good form, Leeds are very attacking side, entertaining side. Like everything just goes right back to Leeds for the advantage. Just looked like the perfect transfer.
You're a big European fan. What game are you most looking forward to this week for the Champions League?
I'm and Real Madrid. I'm a Real Madrid fan, and
Yeah.
like we didn't get an exciting group again. We're just gonna trash everyone in that league. Maybe against RB Leipzig, that's the one. But this week, I think Juventus versus PSG is gonna be good because Juventus can defend, but PSG can't score. But I mean, Juventus can't score; they can defend. PSG, Neymar is in brilliant form. I wish Chelsea would have bought him. Like he's in phenomenal form at the moment. From the Premier League point of view, like I think Liverpool's gonna struggle this week against Napoli. We have to that match actually gonna be important for us, I think, for FPL since Thiago's back in training, and we'll see how Salah operates. If he looks like the old Salah, then there's some glimmer of hope against Wolves.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree with that. What are your thoughts on the Man City away at Sevilla?
Man City away Sevilla. Sevilla got Isco this transfer window and some other players, but they've lost like their two centre back pairing to two Premier League clubs, Kunde and Diego Carlos, who went to Aston Villa. They're gonna concede. I think Julian Alvarez is gonna be Pep's Champions League player, and Haaland's gonna be the Premier League player. I don't see Haaland playing that much in the Champions League. Just
Really?
like Mahrez is his Champions League player. Like there are some players in City, Pep just prefers them for the Champions League group stages. Like Jesus was a Champions League player, Mahrez Champions League player. A few years ago, Gundogan was a Champions League player, and this year I think Julian Alvarez is gonna be a Champions League player. So Haaland might get rested there, and it's an easy game for Man City. Sevilla are just
interesting.
bad. Like they're really downgraded from last season.
Well, talking of Haaland, you've got him in your team and you're captaining Jesus against Everton. Are you not tempted to switch, or are you actually confident Arsenal are going to annihilate Everton?
Well,
Despite being tight in defence.
Yeah, this is the big dilemma I had. That's why I came on today. The captaincy is so like messed up this week, and like there isn't much interesting going on. I think the biggest thing is the captaincy this week. Haaland's playing a big team, so I just don't like captaining players against big team. Like those can be really tricky. And Salah is like out of form, plays too wide. Find him irritating sometimes now. Just can't score. I just don't see him. He looks invisible on the pitch. Like against Everton, I just didn't see him that much. Like right at the last minute, he had an attempt in goal, but it was blocked by Pickford. So Jesus by default, like he's at home. Arsenal are good at home, and Everton are a very low block inside, but I mean it's still Arsenal. Arsenal are elite in attack still. I still believe in him, and I think Arteta's gonna get some reaction out of them now after a big loss in the derby match thing. It's gonna get some reaction out of them.
Fatal 1TY is saying spot on Nugrah Alvarez for the UEFA Champions League. Haaland will play the knockout rounds. FPL Bailey saying it's nice to have Nugrah Atoms on. Speaking about this, Kevin Kelly is saying don't underestimate Celtic Nugrah.
Well, but we have Benzema and Vinicius.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely terrifying form. Vinicius is even performing better than Benzema currently. Like we're just gonna destroy them. I have full faith.
Yeah, I would think. I'm just taking a punt here. 3-4-5.
Yeah, I'll say 3-1. 3-1 to Madrid. That's it. For Liverpool game, I'm just predicting like it's gonna be a draw. Like Napoli, I watched the Serie A a couple of times. Napoli is in great form actually. They're good defensively, and they've got a new man. I just can't pronounce his name. He starts with a K. Like he's in brilliant form also. Osimhen, their striker, which Man United were linked to for a swap for Ronaldo, he's in good form. They're really attacking side also, and a good defensive unit. Liverpool's gonna have a very hard time if they just play like this, and they're eventually gonna tire out, and then they're gonna have a tired out team against Wolves who can actually kind of defend, but they just can't score. At least they got one thing right, the defending, and it might even end up 0-0, the Wolves versus Liverpool game.
So I'm just looking here at Napoli's season so far. So they started off the season, first two games, they scored 9 goals. Since then, 0-0, 1-1, 2-1. Read into that whatever you will. But I believe they're top of the Serie A. Is that right? As I click on this here, the answer is yes, they are. Three wins, 2 draws. They're on the same points as AC Milan, and the thing is that Liverpool are always susceptible conceding goals at the moment. The last time they kept a clean sheet was against Bournemouth, for crying out loud. They're just constantly conceding. I think, as you quite put your argument forward, that Napoli should be able to score goals. They've got a quality striker up front. It would appear that Liverpool are going to be in for a tough game.
This season's gonna be like the one from 2020, I think. Like, they really struggled and they just managed to get top 4. Like, remember that season? It was like injuries all around. Like
Yes.
yeah, they had to rely on Matip to score some winning goals from the overlap, and Salah had to grind out wins, but he just couldn't do it all the time. Mane was injured, and other guys were injured as well. They had a horrid time, and it looks like it's gonna be a repeat.
Nugrah, what can I say? Brilliant phone call. Cheers for coming on.
Very knowledgeable.
Ask you one more thing about like a general question.
Carry on.
I wanted to ask, like, how often do you guys have time to watch football matches, since you guys are so busy all the time?
Jason?
I'm generally juggling time on the weekends with family. I normally can watch the lunchtime kickoffs and the late game. It's 3 o'clock, I can't, because that's normally when I spend time with family.
Just to make this point as well, is that it depends on what subscription you have. I don't have BT Sport.
So we don't. So I've got BT Sport, but I've only got it on my mobile phone, so I can only watch it on my mobile phone. And I've got Now TV, which is about 20 minutes behind everyone else, and I can watch that. So it means I can watch the evening kickoff and the Monday night games. So Sunday games, normally one of the two I can watch, the 2 o'clock or the 4 o'clock. So maximum I can watch is probably 3 games, and the rest I'm watching highlights.
Oh. Did anything change this year for you, Jason, since you're appearing on streams more often than last year?
Am I?
Yeah, you were like
you
almost anonymous in the streams last
Work
year.
commitments.
So the last 12 months have been incredibly busy for me. I guess I work irregular hours, and I guess I'm trying to find ways that I can juggle this and and my work and my family as best I can, and maybe I'm finding pockets of time now than I wasn't able to last year. Still very busy at work.
In this time.
Say again.
Yeah, I'm saying you're more settled in this year. Like, first year was a rough to, like, with the new schedules and stuff, and you're more settled in, and you're finding some free time for yourself to stream.
Yeah, and I'm not taking it serious. Like, I literally, I'm not. When I say I'm not taking it serious, I'm not consuming and being around like the Discord. Like, for example, like you asked the question, how can we see more on the stream? It's because I'm actually not in the Discord taking part in conversations at all. I generally make my own decisions, and when I do ask in the Discord every now and again, I generally am doing that just to get see what the reaction is, not to make a decision. So I've already made my decision at that point. But it's good to get confirmation of what, you know, sometimes what I feel is correct and what others may feel. But yeah, I guess all available time I'm putting into the channel as opposed to anything else like content or that I can consume or spending time in the Discord is the answer to that.
Yeah. Like, I love your commitment this year, since even when you were on holiday, like, you still streamed and found a way to get involved. And
To my wife's,
Yeah.
my wife loved that, by the way.
yeah, and adding Alex Volo was a great addition this year, since the thumbnails are looking absolutely
Oh,
gorgeous.
Alex has been doing that for quite some time. It's not a
Yeah,
new
but
thing.
it looks like he just upped his game this time.
Yeah,
But
he does.
You've got to
He
remember
does.
as well with Alex, he is Ukrainian, and they're going through a time in which doing thumbnails for a small-time channel isn't top priority. And
Yeah.
you know, we, for instance, today as an example, unfortunately, Alex Volo has broken his foot. Would you believe, or his heel? He's okay. He's fine. I just
man.
messaged him out of the blue, and I just said, look, any chance you could just do a quick thumbnail? And then he let me know the news. But you know, the reality of the situation is that we try and give as much information to Alex as quickly as possible to see if he can design a thumbnail. But me and Jason appreciate the fact that he's doing this for free. He has to get on his laptop or whatever he uses, design a thumbnail, however long it takes him to send it across. You know, it could take him 5 minutes, it could take him half an hour. I don't have a clue. But we've spoken privately to him, and we've just told him, look, we really appreciate the fact that you're essentially part of the team. And you never know, like I'm sure I'm speaking the same words Jason would. I think maybe in the near future there's a chance that we could pay him. You know, but as it stands right now, it is virtually volunteer work for somebody who really enjoys the work that me and Jason do, and he's happy to do the thumbnails. And you know, the reality of the situation is that I've kind of made a commitment as well to make sure I'm wanting to stream with Jason. So, because I love streaming with Jason, I can't stand doing, well, when I say I can't stand doing solo streams, what I mean is it's just I get more of camaraderie with Jason. There's more of a
There's more thing to talk about.
yeah, and I think from an entertainment point of view, it's more enjoyable.
Well, we've
for the
been
listener.
doing this for how long now?
Coming up to 4 years, I think it's.
You know, so it's like we're almost at this point where we're pretty, I don't know, we're comfortable with each other. Like we know what each other's about, and you know, with that said, I think we have a very interesting dynamic between us. We genuinely don't want each other to, like, I how can I say it? Like, I genuinely, all I live for is to be above you, and like, cause you're co-host, I want to make sure that I'm setting the bar, and I think that you just, you know, yes, last season having that victory really kind of relit that rivalry again, because no, I'm really dedicated now to try and leave you in the dust, Stevo. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's only thankfully it's only game week 6, coming up to game week 7. I mean, for me, Alex Nuclear, you were asking about, you know, consuming football. I mean, ironically, I'm consuming more football than ever, i.e. Premier League only and Championship, specifically Burnley. Burnley are pretty much on Sky Sports every single week now. You know, you've got, you know, I access the BT Sport football matches via other means, shall we say. It's the same, funny enough, you mentioned about the Champions League. It's something which now I can watch
Get
through
you like excited about watching Champions League football without stress free and watching like quality football matches.
But the thing is, I can watch, like, take the Man United Arsenal game yesterday. I really enjoyed the match for what it was. Kind of like FPL was kind of out of my head. Like, yeah, when Saka was touching the ball, Martinelli, Jesus, Rashford, you do think about it. That's just human nature. But overall, kind of like FPL kind of vanished out my mind, and I just enjoyed the match for what it was. I understand where you're coming from watching a European match and not having to worry about fantasy football. I mean, that probably tells me a lot about myself if I can't watch a football game without thinking about fantasy football. But, you know, for me, I get to watch the BT Sport game at 12:30. I'll always watch the evening kickoff on Sky, and then you've got whatever games on the afternoon. But the problem is now is that I'm finishing work at 2 o'clock on Sundays, which means I won't be getting home till a minimum of 4:35. So I basically missed the first half. Get to watch the second half, and then I get to watch the afternoon kickoff, and then I now choose to watch the evening game if there is, like this week, a Monday kickoff between Leeds and Nottingham Forest. I'll watch that as well. And like I said, I'm trying to make as much of an effort as possible to stream with Jason. You know, before this, Jason, if he'd have messaged me and said, do you want to do an impromptu stream about 5:36? Last year I would have gone, I don't know, I've got to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning. By that point, I kind of want to settle down and go to bed by 7, you know, and get my sleep in. But now I'm kind of like, now I kind of want to commit to doing this. It's like the amount of members.
We do want to get to a point where we can essentially sustain ourselves. Like the channel, at the moment is still very much, needs to grow to a point where that can happen. The supporters of the show are basically what keeps us kind of running, essentially.
I mean, let's be real here. The amount of messages that I received, well, not me personally, you know what I mean, that were put on the video that I put this morning that had nothing to do with fantasy football is ridiculous. Like, I did an hour and 10-minute video about basically my life, and the comments were incredible that came through. And it just shows, like, the kind of, specifically for members, how much loyalty they have following this journey with me and Jason, I suppose, and kind of relating with us, I guess.
That's what we like. Like, when you talk about, like, retail stories, we like to listen to that because we, like, have great interest in what happens to you guys in daily life sort of thing, rather than, like, always focus on FPL. If we just always focus on FPL, we'll just feel like robots or something.
Well, I've made this point about Andy Let's Talk FPL. I find it more interesting when he talks about the gym or what he did on his stag do, whatever, than I care about him talking about fantasy football. Don't get me wrong, listening to him talk about fantasy football is perfectly fine, but after I've heard the same question asked to him 100,000 times, I'd rather just hear about your weight loss journey, or what exercise you're doing in the gym, what you're really enjoying, or the holiday that you went on. I think they're fantastic. Or even like him talking about actual football is brilliant. But that's the unfortunate thing, that a lot of people that are, and by the way, again, I keep saying this, it's not just applying to fantasy football, you could apply it to any niche little community. Like, I always use chain wrestling as the prime example. It's like, Mags always makes the point about the fact that we are a wrestling show, and yet they've spent the first hour and a half talking about anything but wrestling. And I just find it really,
and that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and it's not. And again, it's no disrespect to other content creators out there, but I sometimes think that they miss these, like they miss these, like, kind of little bits of what makes them unique as a content creator, essentially. Like, they get so focused on the what and the how, they don't actually focus on the why, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, the why are you doing this? Why are you making this channel?
And what gets you motivated?
And why are you someone that I want to watch other than others out there? Why should I spend my time watching your channel over others that have been around for much longer than you? And it comes down to personality, and like we're not exactly been pro fantasy football players, managers. We're pretty average, to be honest. I've had a good season in the past. Stevo's had good seasons in the past. But what makes us so, like for me, a successful channel is the fact that we have a community that we not only engage with, but are center to the actual content that we provide. So
you guys are different. Like when I watch other content creators, I consume a lot of FPL like videos, and like I just got tired of it this season. Like after consuming all those for 2 years, and I just limited myself into listening to only few of them, so that I just don't get tired of fantasy football and actually enjoy the game. And this is why I love your channel, because you guys actually have a bit of fun more than just taking all things all seriously, or data this, data that, data says this, the model says that, and all that. Like you just actually guys have fun with it and pick out some nifty differentials that actually excites you. That's what I like about this channel. It's always different, and it's like I can always expect different things every week or every stream. And with others,
and we're under no pressure to change that either. We're absolutely under no pressure to change the format in any way to try and appease others that have come from outside of this community. And that's why, like I say, you either love us or hate us. And we don't care. Like we're not looking at the numbers going, oh, we need to do this for this year, otherwise we've not been successful. We don't care. We do care, but we don't hold ourselves to numbers. We want to grow the channel. We want to see more people finding and discovering our channel, but we're not like we're not desperate, if that makes sense. We're not desperate to.
But it's like if I was to equate Chain Wrestling Bang Bang podcast and UTT podcast to, they're not YouTube channels, but I mean Chain Wrestling does live. They're live tonight at 9 o'clock. But they're a podcast basically, and I don't watch them on YouTube because I don't need to. I just listen to them on the audio. But the point being is that I put them more on a higher esteem level than I would do, say, some of the massive YouTube podcasters out there, because it's just like all it is just adverts after adverts, and they're too scared to give their real opinion. Whereas it's like Trigger Lips when he came on, he said, these people need to understand you need to support the independent shows, whether it is fantasy football, wrestling.
But also, like, the thing is with us, we don't get preferential treatment on the algorithm. If you look at the actual data that's available, you can see that uploaded videos perform much better than streams, and our content is mainly streams. And I prefer streams to uploads. Like, I want to speak to the chat. I want to find out what the chat are doing with their teams, and unfortunately, YouTube doesn't prioritize that on the algorithm, so people are less likely to find our stream than they are to find FPL Mates uploads, or Annie Let's Talk FPL's uploads, or anyone else that's doing uploads. So it's automatically like we're set as a disadvantage. And you can look at our uploads that we've done compared to our live streams, you'll see that there's actually a difference in views, because people just aren't getting access to the content. And the only way that we can really change that is if the community decides to tweet out about us when we go live, shout out about us on socials in general, and that's generally how things can improve in terms of organically growing the channel. And subscribers as well coming in. I mean,
nice comment from like on a minute before we carry on. Nugrah, Manaras is saying, you guys were the first fantasy football channel I found when I started playing 3 years ago. Bloody hell. I mean, 3 years ago.
Making us feel old now.
You were having a really good season 3 years ago, weren't you, Jace? Because that's when you were... Yeah, it would have been 3 years ago when we kind of... And I mean, ironically, that's when we first started doing YouTube, I guess. 3 or 4 years ago, give or take.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
I wanted to say about, like, other content creators, like when I see most of them, I just think, like, why are you just faking it? Like, it seems like you're faking it. You're not like bringing out your actual personality. You're just
Oh, I mean,
reading
I'm
stuff out from a script and just saying it until like 10 minutes, 20 minutes to get the algorithm straight or get some money from it. Like,
I
I
know
just
one
hate
I know
those things so much.
I know one content creator, when they do a certain stream, I can tell immediately they do not enjoy it at all. They're just doing it for the sake of it, which is fine. That's their choice. But I just watch them, just like, just give yourself a break. Like, you don't
Yeah,
really
and
need to be doing this. The fact you're clearly not enjoying it, I have to turn off, because I'm just like,
and those people will just say to you, if you like say any criticism, like constructive criticism, I'm just berailing them, like constructive criticism, they'll just say, oh, you don't have to watch me if you don't like me. Like, okay, like, I'll just give you a friendly suggestion, but if you're just gonna be this prick move, then I'm not gonna even watch anything from you. Like, that's the vibe I get sometimes from big content creators.
yeah, look, without banging the same drum, beating a dead horse and whatnot. Look, we know where me and Jason go right. We know where me and Jason go wrong, and we know that unfortunately the fantasy football world is literally just about tell me what to do, and that's it, which is great, but it's extremely boring. Whereas, like, for argument's sake, in my personal YouTube space, when it comes to wrestling, wrestling bios, don't get me wrong, their edited videos are fucking phenomenal, incredible. The trivia that they give you, the information they give you on the time of whatever they're talking about is absolutely incredible, but boring. It's just so boring to watch because there's nothing about the guy. But it's all people want. They just want a nice, clean, edited video and someone just telling them about whatever's happening, WCW, whatever. Whereas with chain wrestling, it's just two relatable blokes, and the same with Bang Bang, same with UTT. Two relatable blokes that just want to have a laugh, but will give you real in-depth information about WWE or WCW, about the topic at hand. But they're relatable, and it's like, oh, this is different. This is unique. I'd actually rather be listening to this than just a bloke talk like this. And this is what happened in the WCW. It's just so boring.
Boring. Like, everyone like feels the same. Like, it just looks like they have great info, but it just feels the same. Like, I've heard this before, or you're just saying it.
I'm just gonna drop Abdul down because Abdul's been waiting for so long. I feel real bad. So hey, Abdul, man.
Well, hold on a minute here. I've got some breaking news. So, hello, Abdul. Before we get to you, interesting news from Gabriel De Rock. The first ever Elite FPL video was the 6th of September 2018.
6th of September 2018.
So it's the 4-year anniversary tomorrow.
What?
Wow.
It was game week 4. I know it was game week 4, I think it was. Our first video.
That's absurd. That's quite extraordinary.
Very much so.
4-year anniversary tomorrow.
Do you guys even remember what happened in your first stream?
I thought people were taking the mick when they were. I always use Daily Llama as the example. I thought he was a troll because he'd always come into the stream. And by the way, Llama, if you are watching, I send you my best wishes. He's not going through a great time at the moment. I think he's getting back to shape, whatever the word is. But the point being is that I remember Llama especially coming to our streams. And again, this was an era where live streams didn't really exist. And especially in fantasy football, they did not exist at all. And I just remember Llama just always sending like comments. And I thought, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Like, but he turns out to be a really sound bloke and everything. Became a really valued member of the community, and now he's doing what he's doing with the FPL casuals. And I mean, I always remember Dan saying to me about, I know a man Dylan's here now. He was just like, who's this a man Dylan? Who is he? who are these people watching this? Like, all we were doing was just, as Jason knows, talking about Torbay Elite. I look back at those streams and what I am most proud of is the fact that we have not changed a bit apart from the graphics. That's it. I still talk about the history. I still delve deep into, like, I've done it today. Delve deep into.
We need to get Llama back to report from the games with his was he Bovril and Pasty.
Hello, Jason.
Bad impression of him, but yeah.
No. Oh, for God's sake. But no,
Good
it's
thing, good thing you guys didn't change, because you still like are the same. Like when I subscribed like 2 years ago during 2020, you still like are the same, and I really like the fact that you just didn't change because FPL is changing and FPL YouTube is changing. You still kept your same content and stayed different than everyone else, and that's why like we love you guys so much and we tune in. That's why you're like your community members are so loyal to you guys.
I'll ask you the question. Can you even remember the first thing you watched with me and Jace, and what turned you on, I suppose, to go?
What? It wasn't you, Stevo, mate.
I think I do, and it was like Jason when he was interviewing, I think, Capkin or Nathan Bacon, I think. One of them.
Right.
Yeah, it was during like pre-season for the 2021 season. Yeah, 2021 season. That's when I subscribed, and that's when I thought, oh look, they're interviewing people that I know. Like, let's see the stream, and it looks good, and the lighting effects are really good with Jason. Like talking.
Well, that's something where me and Jason fall flat is doing collaborations, and that's how a lot of, again, not just FPL, but a lot of YouTube content out there becomes so successful because they collaborate with a very big YouTube channel, whatever. And again, I keep holding my hands up. I'm terrible at messaging people. I just go into anxiety mode.
But hang on. But Stevo, they can message us as well. You know that.
I know they can.
But they don't.
No, they don't.
But they don't. So you know, it works both ways. You know,
maybe they're like me. They just suffer with ridiculous anxiety, where it's like, am I going to be accepted by this person? You know, will they invite me on or whatever? It's
maybe.
Just ludicrous, to be honest with you.
I even remember the first like watch along I watched in this channel, or the one which I really had fun for the first time in a watch along, and it was the Manchester United versus Southampton game where Cavani came on from the bench and scored and won Manchester United a match 3-2.
Mad.
Yeah, that stream was mad. Like I was so excited watching that. It was like Jones bloke and
I'm actually more likely now to do a watch along with Man United than I was before, because now I'm actually excited when I watch Man United play again. I'm more inclined to do a watch along with Man United than I was probably a few months ago, or even a few weeks ago, to be honest with you. But PK7 says, I don't know where exactly remember specifically, but it was pure rage and I loved it. That was a been Stevo then.
Yeah. Probably going mad about Salah.
Yeah,
or Aguero, a hat trick, or a missed penalty from Jamie Vardy. Remember that one? Remember Jamie Vardy had that penalty, he missed it and he had to retake it, and I had him captain.
Oh, that was just,
And he retook it again because the referee ordered a retake because they were encroaching. And you were just really angry about that one. But Abdul's here. Abdul, how's it going, man?
Boys, can you hear me?
You're quiet for me, actually, Abdul.
Oh, I'm trying to speak up a bit. I just ringing regards to Leicester situation.
Situation, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, what did you think of the performance of the weekend?
I didn't see it. Well, I did see it. I saw half. This is for Fozzie. Half Vulcan. Anyway, it was a dejected performance, and it was a team that just didn't want to play for a manager. They were just there to kick a ball around, and they couldn't care less. That's what I saw.
Yeah, just before I jumped on the stream, I was listening to Radio Leicester, and they're saying that the sort of position with Rodgers is that it's sort of untenable at the moment.
It's got to go.
He has to
He
go.
has to
got to
go.
go.
Like he's been so.
I think the problem is the club don't have the money to. Literally, they don't have the money to suck him, and they're working. So maybe, what's the right word for it? Where it's mutual termination.
Yes, of course.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
'Cause isn't it 15
Mutual
million?
agreement, yeah.
I think it's 15 million that he would have to give Rodgers if they fired him
It's
outright.
a lot.
That's a lot of money. I don't think the club can afford it.
And then who would they bring in? I mean, I heard Dyche's name, and I'm just
I
like,
think I
I
would
do not
love
want
that
Dyche.
because you know what you're going to get with him. That's the beauty about Sean Dyche is you know exactly what you're going to get.
Well, it's just going to be the way he always played, literally 4-4-2.
And that sort of suits Leicester. You know, when we
How
won the
does that
title,
suit like Leicester? Like they don't have really good defenders. Like Sean Dyche is all about defense, and some of their players are really like
but he's
suited to attacking football.
playing in a system in a way where we can actually defend. And I think at the moment we don't really have an identity. We've lost identity as a football club, as a team. You know, I think Brendan's thrown everybody under the bus except himself. He's thrown the players under the bus. He's thrown the owners under the bus. He's thrown the fans under the bus of the weekend. And it's just out of order. It's unprofessional and it's uncalled for. There's a lot you could have done a lot more during this time because we're going through a difficult situation because of the owners. The owners are in the tourism industry, and obviously they've suffered because of COVID. And apparently we're like 110 million lost this year.
Wow.
So I think it's an impossible kind of situation for everybody in the club at the moment. But he could have been a bit more professional with what he said.
It's a very tough situation.
What's your thoughts on Daka coming in for Vardy? I thought Daka was supposed to be the understudy last year to Vardy, and then this season was supposed to be his big one, but he hasn't played. It's been Vardy.
I mean, Daka needs games. You need a run of 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 games before you can see the best in a player. So
Yeah.
I can't really blame him. And when he has come in, he looked good. I mean, with Brendan, the problem was as soon as the players get the ball, we just pass it sideways and backwards. And
Yeah, same with Man United. That's a problem with us. We were doing that under Ole, and that's always a sign of when there's no creativity or there's no desire to take risks. You pass it sideways and backwards, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the players fighting with each other on pitch on Saturday, and I've never seen that before. Players actually swearing at each other, fighting with each other. It's just, and that comes from above, the negativity that's coming from the manager.
Yeah.
So I think I really wish he has some decency and just leaves. I don't know if he would though. So.
I mean, I was just looking here in your 6 games, every single away. This is the Premier League. In your 3 away games, you've conceded 11 goals, but at home, despite not winning, it's been quite tight. 2-1 loss against Southampton and a 1-0 loss against Man United. Can you see a reason for this?
I mean, even in the United game, to be fair, we were poor. We created one chance in the 93rd minute, and that was when we kicked the ball up and over and playing direct. So I think if we don't do anything now, or we don't get this sorted, we're going to be playing championship football next season.
There's a possibility. I mean, I think something will happen. I think it's got to happen. And I think it won't be too long before it does happen. That's what I think. I think negotiations will take place between Rodgers and the club, and a decision will be made in the near future. It has to. And the players can then look forward, and Leicester can look forward.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be good for the club. Maybe good for the Leicester FPL assets as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just came back from work and I wanted to go on Hangouts, but there was nobody there. It was just a stream on, so I thought, let me come and talk to you guys.
No, thank you for coming in. Thank you for chatting with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out now. Thanks for having me on and
cheers,
having
Nuclear
a
Rams.
chat.
Yeah, good to
Cheers,
talk
guys.
to you, man.
See you
Cheers.
later. Bye.
Cheers,
guys.
Ginger in the waiting room. Do you want to bring one, Stevo?
Yeah, this will be probably our final interaction of the day.
Final interaction of the day, and it's FPL Ginge. What's going on? I don't see your team posted in the team screenshots. Did you have anything you wanted to add to the conversation?
No, I'm chilling, to be fair. I'm really bored at the minute. My legs are absolutely killing me.
You didn't slip
Okay.
on water, did you? It doesn't matter. Anything like Jason said, anything to add to the conversation?
So I haven't been listening, to be fair. I've just been chilling.
Okay, well, are you looking forward to the Champions League games this week?
Yeah.
Good chat.
I'm just gonna do the line, just clear off.
Yeah. On that note, guys, follow us on Twitter. It's just up on the screen there at Elite FPL. Get on Discord. Hit us up on there. Discord.gg/Elite FPL. If you haven't already liked the stream, please hit the like button. Please, let's get the like buttons up. Get more engagement on the channel. Get more eyes on the prize, so to speak. If you have, when's the nomination of the Football Content Awards? When's that?
God knows.
Okay.
God knows when.
We don't know. Just keep voting for us.
Yes,
tell your nan, tell your dog, tell your friends to vote Elite FPL in the Football Content Awards. I think on that note, we will leave it there, and we'll be back. When we'll be back? Friday.
Yes, I think. Well, whenever, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, whenever. There could be another impromptu between now and then, but officially, the next one will be Friday. But members videos, keep an eye out for those, and yeah, we'll see you on the flip side.
Definitely. Cheers all.
Take care, guys.